All right, what's going on, guys? And welcome to Season 8 of our Toronto Maple Leafs Franchise Mode series. Now, if you didn't watch Season 7 or you just forgot, I highly recommend going back and checking out that season because, in spoiler alerts, in 3, 2, 1, we won our first Stanley Cup with the Toronto Maple Leafs. It was an awesome season for us. So again, the link to Season 7 will be in the description below. Highly recommend going to check it out, see the kind of moves we made to get this team a Stanley Cup win. So headed into Season 8, as always, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe. The support helps me out a ton. I appreciate every one of you for being here. So like usual, we're going to go over our lines headed into the season here. This team's looking pretty strong. I obviously tried to keep our Stanley Cup winning team together as much as possible, and we've done that. We've also made some really nice additions. First line there stays the same. Carlson, Matthews, and Wright, just such a good line. We added Nichushkin on a one-year deal. I think he's going to be really good for us playing with Fedorov and Yurov on that second line. Then you got Lacerte, Velarde, and Poirier getting a +5 there on that third line. Should be tearing up those, third line matchups that they get. And then Marchment, Anderson, Dolan, and Stone on our fourth line. Just really great defensive-minded players there. As for defense, looks really solid. Dobson and Clark there on the first pairing. Anderson and Hanifin here get a +5. Sandin and Barron get a -1. I don't know what happened. Maybe if there's like a roster update or something. I have no idea what happened because they were in even correlation the last time I loaded up the game, and then I loaded up this time and they're at a -1. Regardless, they should be fine. Check out our power plays first unit there. So dangerous, getting a +5. Power play 2 here gets a +2. Four-man power play gets a +5. And second unit here is even on the PK. Our first unit there gets a +5. Just a phenomenal PK unit. PK2 also gets a +5, and our PK3 gets a +2. So overall, penalty kills should be popping off this season. Three-man PK gets a +1. Second unit also gets a +1, and the third unit here at an even correlation. So our special teams look really good. As for goalies, we'll have Gustafsson and net again, 86 overall, with DiPietro backing him up. They have been a very good tandem for us. And overall, this team looks primed to make another good run in the regular season and hopefully another good playoff run. So, like always, we'll simulate out to the start of the new year in the 2030-2031 season and see how we're doing then. Alright guys, so at the start of the new year here, we have a record of 24-10-2, playing very well. First in the Atlantic, just 2 points ahead of the Panthers there. Tied for first in the Eastern Conference, and 50 points. Jets and Ducks ahead of us, but top 3 in the league. Not bad at all. Brant Clark there, actually, our leading scorer. He's going off 37 points in 36 games. Overall, we're playing well, as expected. We have a really good team here, so we'll head out to the trade deadline and see how we're doing then, see what kind of moves we want to make. I don't expect us to be too active at the deadline, but you never know what can happen, so we'll head out there and see what we want to do. Alright, so here we are getting ready to head into the trade deadline with a record of 37-19-4. Good for second in the Atlantic with 78 points. Just a few there behind the Panthers. So yeah, third in the Atlantic, not bad at all. And I would think a top 8 team in the league, I believe, looking at that. Austin Matthews, our leading scorer, 54 points in 60 games. So kind of weird that we're doing like pretty well and our leading scorer isn't even point per game. He does have 38 goals though, so that's good to see. So we're going to head into the trade deadline here. Probably going to be conservative buyers. Guys are really settling into the flow of the team and just playing pretty well together. Everyone's kind of contributing, so potentially not going to make any moves here, but you never know. Again, we might get a good offer or we might see something that looks interesting to us. So yeah, we'll head into the trade deadline and see what ends up going down, not just for us, but around the league. Alrighty, so we just made a small trade with the Arizona Coyotes, sending over forward Omar Blaine and a 2031 7th round pick in exchange for a 2031 second round pick. We didn't have a second round pick. Figured, Arizona there below 500 right now could be, a decently high second rounder. So pretty much a nice trade for us. All right, so the trade deadline is over. Aside from that small trade with Arizona, we didn't make any other moves. Let's see what else happened in the league. Bernard Docker there to the Islanders. Hayden Fleury there to the Canadiens. JJ Peterka there going to the Capitals. Dufour going to the Canucks. Hedel and Kepke going to the Stars. Let's see here. Dubé and Colton Dach going to the Minnesota Wild. Let's see. Fabro, Lind, and Kessel going to the Senators. Abe Kubel to the Stars. Rathbone to the Coyotes. Let's see. Shea Theodore there going to the Canucks. Matthew Phillips to the Red Wings. Philip Hronik to the Golden Knights. Braden Schneider to the Canadiens. There was our trade for the second round pick from Arizona. Dmitry Smirnov to San Jose. Dvorak and Zub to Minnesota. Gunler and Clegg to the Bruins. Hendrix Lapierre to the Oilers. Sean Farrell. And wow, Vancouver, they're getting Tyler Seguin and Hampus Lindholm. So that'll do it for the trade deadline. We are going to go out to the end of the regular season here, holding on to second place in the Atlantic Division. So hopefully we can keep up this kind of play, secure a playoff spot, and we will see how we're doing at the end of the regular season. All right, so here to end of the regular season, we finished with a record of 49, 29, and 4, good for 102 points, second in the Atlantic, third overall in the Eastern Conference here. Penguins there finishing with 108 points. The Avalanche, though, will take home the President's Trophy with 113 points. So overall, pretty solid season there. Can't complain. 100-plus point season. Austin Matthews here, leading scorer. Kind of a down year. Pretty weird that we still did well, even though no one on our team really popped off that much. I did notice that it randomly switched around our lines after the trade deadline, and I didn't realize it until literally the start of April. So I had to go back and switch everything around. Not sure why I did that, even though I have, head coach edits lines turned off. So still pretty weird. Regardless, Matthews and Wright there, both 73 points. Carlson there, 65 points. Love how many assists he's getting up there with them. Clark, leading defenseman there, 63 points. Very nice to see. I mean, pretty solid production all around, to be honest. But yeah, that's why you see some of these plus minuses are kind of bad, because it switched around the lines for whatever reason and messed up all our chemistry for a solid month and a half. So that's why some of these guys definitely, their performances suffered a lot. As far as defensemen, Hannafin there was literally a positive rating. So really weird that it switched it around, but regardless, we made the playoffs. Take a look at our goalies. Pretty solid season from both of them. Can't complain about those numbers. And let's go take a look at the entire league, see what went down. Barkov, oh my gosh, popped off 125 points. McDavid doing what McDavid does. Lots of 100-plus point players. Oh my goodness. Jack Hughes there, the last one, 99. But lots of players with over 100 points. Let's see here. McDavid there taking down the Maurice Richard. As for defensemen here, Makar should be taking home the Norris there. Insane year, 110 points. Quinn Hughes, though, 94. He went off. As for goalies, Skinner there leading the way with 47 wins. As for the best save percentage for a starter, it's going to be a Skarov here with .917, but Skinner there and Swayman all really close. And best goals against for a starter, Skinner, Swayman, neck and neck there. So I think the Vezina could be going to either of them. But either way, I think our team played pretty well. Again, no one really popped off, which was weird to see, but sort of kind of everyone contributed equally, which was nice to see. So we'll head out into the playoffs here and see who we get in the first round. All right, so we have the Montreal Canadiens here in the first round of the playoffs. Take a look at the playoff picture overall. In the East, we got Florida, Tampa, New Jersey, Washington, Buffalo, and Pittsburgh. In the West, we'll have Edmonton, St. Louis, Seattle, Anaheim, Chicago, Winnipeg, and Minnesota and Colorado. So let's take a look at this Montreal team. Don't think we've ever played them in this franchise series. I don't even think they've been in the playoffs all that much. Okay. Yeah, they're pretty solid. Really, really crazy first line. Top six is stacked. I mean, wow. Caulfield there down on the third line. Oof, that could be bad for us. Lots of depth on their forward core here. Defense leaves a lot to be desired. Okay, so defense is pretty weak, but at the same time, their offense can definitely carry them. 88 overall goalie in net with 83 overall Samsonov backing him up. So this, honestly, I'm not underestimating them. Didn't have a great regular season record, but you never know. It's the playoffs. Everyone's here for a reason. First two games here. We'll sim at home. And let's see what happens. Okay, so we split 3-1 loss and 2-1 win. Next two games are in Montreal. We win that one, 2 wins, 5-3 and 4-1. All right, game 5 at home. And we lose it 3-1. Oh, please don't do this to us, game. Back in Montreal. And wow, to game 7 we go. 4-1 loss there. Could this be a first round exit for the defending Stanley Cup champions? Let's sim this period by period and see what happens. They came back from a 3-1 deficit. Are you kidding me? Tied after 1. Up 1. We're just gonna risk it for the biscuit and sim period 3. And we take care of it. Noah Dobson, Gustafsson coming up big with a 24 save shutout. And whew, that was a nail biter in the first round. So we take game 7. And off to the second round we go, waiting for our opponent. And we'll see who we get. All right, so we have the Tampa Bay Lightning in the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. As usual, let's take a look and see who they have. Really don't know what this Tampa team's looking like. So they got Sally, Point, and Brink on that first line. Howard, Farrell, Kucherov on the second line. This is a pretty deep forward core here. Sorelli down there on the third line as well, with Middlestat on the fourth line. Defense here, Sergachev and Chernak, really solid first pairing. Cormier on the second, and Whitecloud Stillman on the third pairing. So decent defense overall. And obviously they got Vasilevsky in net with Montembeault backing him up. Vasilevsky there down to an 85. Obviously doesn't really matter much though, because it's Vasilevsky. So, you know, we will start simming these games. I might take a look at our lines as well before we sim and see what I want to do. But yeah, Tampa Bay Lightning in the second round. Okay, so here we are, Tampa Bay Lightning, second round. Let's sim out these first two games at home. And we split it, 6-2 win and a 4-1 loss. Going down to Tampa. And split those as well, 2-1 loss and a 6-4 win. So series is tied 2-2. Coming back home. And we lose it. All right, so down 3-2 in the series. Backs against the wall here going on to Tampa. Let's sim this period by period. In the second round here. 1-0 after 1, us. Austin Matthews gets it. Up 3-1 after 2, Anderson, of all people, and Poirier there. Sergachev for them. Third period. Oh my god, are you kidding me? They tie it. Middlestat and Janicki for them. All right. Let's sim into overtime here and see what happens. Watch them score immediately. I would hate that for us. All right, this could be it for us. Like, backs against the wall. We have to win this. Keep our hopes alive. They're on a power play. We kill it. Time winding down. 3 minutes left in overtime. Oh my gosh. They're on a power play? Oof. And we survive. Shots are 53-45. Tampa into second overtime we go. Oh my god. Are you kidding me? They score right away. Wow. That really sucks. And that'll do it for our season. Stanley Cup champs. We had such a good team. Shane right there, leading scorer in the playoffs with 11 points. So people definitely just weren't showing up for us for sure. Yeah, I mean, like our big guys, Austin Matthews, they're only 6 points. So, guys not showing up when three of our top five scorers are defensemen, something's going wrong. So that was a disappointing end to our season, especially coming off a Stanley Cup win, but it is what it is, and we will sim out to the end of the playoffs and into the draft. All right, so the 2031 Stanley Cup champions are the Edmonton Oilers as they take down the New Jersey Devils in 5 games. And we'll look at the awards real quick here. Barkov obviously going to get the Art Ross. McDavid, though, gets the Hart. Makar with a second straight Norris and the Lady Byng. Flames guy, Piero Zabatel gets a Calder. McDavid gets the Conn Smythe. Skinner there with the Vezina. Swayman with the William Jennings. Uyghur there with the Masterson. Ducks coach gets a Jack Adams. Catton there with the Selke. McDavid, Ted Lindsay, and the Maurice Richard. So big year for McDavid and the Oilers as they take the Stanley Cup, and he gets a ton of awards. All right, so take a look at our retired players. Stamkos, Tavares, and Huberdeau, along with Stone there on us retired, leading the way on the forward front here. As for defensemen of Hamilton, Morrissey, and Slavin at the top of the list there. And for goalies, Gibson, Markstrom, and Murray leading the way with the retired goalie class. So here we are in the draft. And always we like to see the top 5 picks. So there is an 82 overall franchise player. For Carolina, they'll get a 79 overall. Vancouver here will get a 78. Philly here gets a 77. And Detroit here will get another 77. So we'll sim out to our pick. We are picking number 24. Here we are, guys, going to select Sylvain Charpentier, I think. I don't want to butcher that. Guaranteed low elite. There's also this guy with a 50-50 low elite. But I kind of want to take him just because he's guaranteed low elite toward the end of the first round. Excuse me, game. And let's see, a 64 overall low elite. Should has X factors. Yeah, really nice X factors there. Sniper, and looks good. I really like that pick here. All right, next we're going to take a chance and select Tony Ronta here. Interesting stats. Kind of 3 years, has 50-50 medium AHL, but I don't know. He looks kind of interesting. You never know. I mean, these players aren't going to play with us. Might as well see. He's a medium top 9. All right, so not a great pick in the second round, but what can you do? And next, we're going to select Matthias Hagelin here. Guaranteed to be low top 4 in the third round. Looks like a pretty solid pick. And he is low top 4, 63 overall. Good pick there. Next, we're going to select Devin Watkins here. 50-50 medium elite goalie. 4 years ETA. Might as well just see. And he's a fringe starter. Not the best, but also not the worst. And here we'll select Sander Beach. Guaranteed low top 9 here. Might as well. And he's a 57 overall. So not super high rated. Not a terrible pick in round 5. And on we go to the next pick. I would select Brock Warrener here. Pretty good shot being low top 4 in the 6th round. Gotta take a chance on it. And he's low top 6. So not a terrible pick. All right, we're going to take a chance on another 50-50 medium elite goalie here. Adrian King, 4 years ETA. Might as well. I believe this is our last pick. He's actually a medium starter, so in the 6th round, not terrible. And yep, that'll be it for our picks this draft. Overall, not a great draft. I mean, our first pick was pretty good, though. And here we are headed into the re-sign phase, guys. We will have some contract decisions to make. Don't think we're going to do anything too much. But obviously, we'll have to see and just sort of analyze what our contract situation looks like. All right, so after 1 day in the re-sign phase, we have some extensions to announce. We've given Felix Lessert a 1-year deal worth $6.6 million. Defenseman Noah Hannafin a 1-year deal worth $4.75 million. And we've extended goalie Philip Gustafsson 2 years at $4.85 million. I'm actually really glad we didn't sign Lessert, rush to re-sign him at the beginning of the season because he was asking over $10 million. That would have been absolutely insane. So get him at a big discount from his original ask at the start of the year. So really good signings for us, and we will continue with the re-sign. All right, guys, so in the free agency here, we have some signings to announce. We've signed forward Arthur Kaliev to a 1-year deal worth $3.25 million. Defenseman Jonas Siegenthaler to a 1-year deal worth $5 million, and forward Dustin Krestanovich to a 2-year deal with a $2.3 million AAV. Alright, and we have one more free agent signing to announce. We've signed forward Noah Cates to a 1-year deal worth $1.75 million. Alright guys, so here we are headed into year 9 with the Maple Leafs after a disappointing end to our season last year. We're looking forward to having a bounce back season, hopefully. Show you our lines, what this team's looking like. First line still gets a +3, remains unchanged with Carlson, Matthews, and Shane Wright. Second line here, we'll have Arthur Kaliev playing with Fedorov and Yurov. Third line here gets a +2, Willow Krestanovich, Lessert, and Poirier. And our fourth line here gets a +1. We'll have Cates, Anderson Dolan, and Velarde. So pretty solid lineup, honestly. Don't mind this team. Defense looks real solid. Dobson and Clark there get a +2 on that first pairing. Hannafin and Minkari get a +3. Minkari was this really weird third-round pick we had in last year's draft, and he just shot up in rating for like no specific reason. So anyway, he is on the team now. They get a +3. Siegenthaler and Sandin locking it down on that third pairing. As for goalies, we'll have Gustafsson and DiPietro both dropped in rating, which is a little concerning, but at the same time, goaltending in this game is just so weird, so you just never know. Take a look at our special teams here. First unit there gets a +5, just a nasty first unit. Second power play unit gets a +1. The four-man power play here gets a +2, and our second unit on the four-man has an even correlation. As for penalty kills, first unit there gets a +5. Second PK also gets a +5, and our third penalty kill unit gets a +2. Three-man PK gets a +1. Second unit gets a +2, and the third unit is even correlation. So overall, our special teams look really solid again this season, and our team here looks really good, honestly. I mean, we got a lot of depth. We got a lot of good players that have been here for a while. We got some new guys in. I like our additions this season, and this team looks good. So we're not going to end the episode just yet because I do want to make some contract extensions, so we'll see what we can work out there. Alright guys, so not many contract decisions to make right now, but I did want to get one out of the way here. We've extended Leo Carlson to a 6-year deal at $8.4 million per year. Really great contract for us. Obviously, that'll keep him the last 2 seasons we have and beyond. Trying to make these extensions kind of realistic to what you might see a team hand out to a player like that. So good signing there, and I'm sure throughout the season we'll have some contract decisions to make, including Brandt Clark. Obviously, we'll need to sign for our final season. So if we have to give him a 1-year deal at a crazy amount, we will, because we can. But otherwise, that was the one big signing we have. And that'll do it for this episode. As you can see, I'm currently 2-0 to start the next season. So hopefully that's a sign of things to come. But as always, if you enjoy the video, leave a like and subscribe. The support helps me out a ton. And we'll hope for a good 9th season with the Toronto Maple Leafs. So until next time, have a good one, y'all.